Nebraska's offensive line is going to be a unit that takes big steps forward and is going to punish opposing defenses this year. This is a unit that will make defenses eat corn. The Nebraska Cornhusker offensive line. They will take pieces of corn and they will make you eat them. They will make you eat all of it. Not just the good parts, not just that, but the leftovers. They will make you uncomfortable. They will stuff you full. They will shove you down and they will push you around. And I know that there's a lot of emotion in that statement and there's a lot of hype, but I am a believer in this offensive line. And I have, I believe, evidence to back that up. So therefore, it's not just an emotional take. I think a lot of this is centered in reality. Before we resume this segment, please take a few seconds of your time to make sure you have liked the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and for any team podcasts and playlists linked in the description, and also comment your thoughts down below in the comment section and join my Discord server via the description. All of those things I just asked you to do are completely free, and they sign you up for things related to my channel, or they don't sign you up for anything. No cost to you, and all the benefit to you because we release daily college football content here on College Football with Sam. If you want to support the channel monetarily, sign up for a YouTube membership, or check any other links in the description for my merchandise store and Patreon page. Thank you very much, and let's get back to the segment. They return Justin Evans, who had a 69.1 PFF grade with 877 snaps. When you have that many snaps and that high of a grade playing in the Big Ten, you are a good player. They also return Henry Lutovsky with a 74.1 PFF grade at guard with, again, another player over 700 snaps, 753 snaps. Teddy Prochazka was injured for all of 2024, didn't play, but he was Nebraska's best offensive tackle in 2023. He is big, long. Imagine if he's healthy and plays well this year, he will be picked in the 2026 NFL draft. So you have a potential all Big Ten caliber player at tackle if healthy. Elijah Pritchett is the other tackle. This time came in through the portal. He had a 56.9 PFF grade with 619 snaps in 2024. Didn't play well at Alabama. Had to leave, transfer out. Doesn't sound like he's doing too well based on the information I have, but he is a bigger body with a high ceiling, and Nebraska allowed a significant amount of pressures last year. Raiola took a good amount of sacks. The Big Ten overall did not really field elite pass-blocking offensive lines outside of, I would say, Oregon last season, and at times Ohio State. And even then, that was debatable. I mean, look at the Rose Bowl where Oregon got sacked a bunch, although I would blame that on their receivers not getting separation, Dylan Gabriel having limited upside. As for Ohio State, they had good pass blocking from one of their tackles in Donovan Jackson and Simmons before Simmons tragically went down. And you also have to take into account their supporting cast was so athletic and Howard was so good in the pocket that they didn't need good protection to have a good functioning offense. So Nebraska was no exception to that last year, where a lot of Big Ten offensive lines were better in run blocking than pass blocking. Nebraska's wasn't one of those either. They struggled in run blocking too. But they've upgraded size, they return more experience, and this is also year 3 of Donovan Raiola, of Matt Rhule, and then year 1 of an offensive coordinator in Dana Holgorsen, who is light years ahead of what Marcus Satterfield brought. Rocco Spindler is the player I'm paying attention to on this offensive line because he's transferring in from Notre Dame, where he has been coached by Joe Rudolph, who I view as a legend at offensive line coaching. He is one of the best, if not the best offensive line coach in America. He's up there with Phil Trotwein. He's up there with Kyle Flood. Those offensive line coaches. He's in that pedigree. Spindler's been trained by him. Was he going to start this year for Notre Dame? No, but Notre Dame's offensive line is among the best in America. There's no shame in that. He's going to come to Nebraska. He's starting at guard. And he had, once again, just like all of the interior Nebraska players, over 700 snaps. So just think about the experience this room has, the chemistry that these players on the interior in Evans and Lutovsky have. Prochazka was hurt, yes, but he's played under Rhule, played with some of these offensive linemen, and then Spindler is a vet. And Spindler is someone who, along with Pritchett, transferred in fairly early. These are not spring portal additions. These were winter portal additions. So they've had a whole preseason to acclimate to Nebraska's staff, to their culture, their roster, to their teammates. I love this unit. They allowed 27 sacks last year. Factoring in Raiola's improved pocket presence, I assume that he is going to get faster in both his processing and his release. He'll catch up to the speed of the game, transitioning from a true freshman to a more experienced, less green sophomore. That combined with a superior line, I imagine will bring the sack total down. The pressure total, I think, will go down. And look, Nebraska last season, even with Dante Dowdell, who is a power back, and Emmett Johnson, who is awesome. I mean, he averaged 5 yards per carry, which with this offensive line was pretty impressive because Nebraska's offensive line last year helped the Cornhuskers run for 3.8 yards per carry. That's horrible. Especially with a team like Nebraska's history, where they used to not care about passing the ball, and they just ran the option, and you couldn't stop it, and they ran all over people. And they were known for being, that working class, farmer work ethic developmental program. For that offensive line to perform that poorly last season was pretty pathetic. It was. I think they're going to take drastic steps forward this year, especially in run blocking, with what they have on the interior, both coming in and what they have returning, along with better play calling, and I think a better running back starting. Yes, I believe Emmett Johnson is better than Dante Dowdell. You look at this schedule with what the Cornhuskers have. They play Cincinnati week 1. Cincinnati has a player in Dante Corleone on the defensive line. They have some good players on the defensive line at linebacker, on defense overall. This is going to be a great early test. Better than UTEP in week 1 last year. Better than Minnesota in week 1 in 2023. This is going to be a good test for this Nebraska offensive line. Michigan in week 4 is going to be an even bigger, better test. Yes, they lost their 2 NFL defensive tackles, but they have, I think, plenty of NFL players on the defensive line. None with the ceiling of Graham or Grant. Their defensive ends may not even have the ceiling of Josiah Stewart. But Michigan, in theory, should be a little deeper than last year. Overall, the unit will be worse, but it will still be a force to be reckoned with. And I wonder, and I'm excited to see the contrast and juxtaposition between how the 2023 Nebraska-Michigan game went in the trenches versus how it will go this year. Can't wait to see that. Michigan State and Minnesota have good enough players around the defensive line, especially Minnesota, who I think is deeper and better than the Spartans, to where they could prove some tests too. Michigan State has Grady Kelly and Jalen Thompson. Minnesota has Mo Amunde, who transferred in from Purdue. And they also have some all Big Ten caliber players like Anthony Smith, Jalen Logan Redding, Devin Eastern. It's one of the deeper Minnesota defensive lines that I can remember. You also got to think about USC, who's upgraded their size, bringing in Keyshawn Silver, Devin Tompkins. You also got Anthony Lucas, and also, forgetting his name, Cameron Fountain. How could I forget Cameron Fountain? He was almost a 5-star out of high school and did pretty well last year. Hard to remember all those names, but that's why you have notes on your screen, right? And then, of course, you have Penn State and you have Iowa. And Penn State with Zane Durant, Denai Dennis Sutton, Alonzo Ford, Ty Blanding. It sounds like Jim Knowles really loves this defensive line, and I believe him there. And they also have a great front with players that should be able to get to the quarterback, such as Amari Campbell, a blitzing linebacker. And then Iowa, Ethan Herkett, Max Llewellyn, Aaron Graves. Iowa's had Nebraska's number with their defensive line versus Nebraska's offensive line in recent memory. There are plenty of great defensive lines here. Defenses overall, but especially defensive fronts to test this offensive line. Am I going to tell you right now they will beat all of them? Heck no. But I am going to tell you that for the first time in eons, you are going to see Nebraska win some of these battles decisively, especially as the game goes on, and for the first time again, in a while, in what feels like forever, Nebraska's depth is going to wear down some of these units that, whether overall or just on defense compared to Nebraska's offense, their opponents do not have the same depth or experience or raw talent that Nebraska does. I think they'll overpower some of these teams that will be tests for them. That's why overall I'm high on Nebraska this year. I do think they will go over their win total of 7.5, and I have to tell you the offensive line is a big part of the reason why. This unit will improve, and I would expect Nebraska to run for 4.5 or more yards per carry this year, so almost a full yard more per carry than last year. And with the new OC and the passing game being superior, therefore opening up the ground, we would assume, that might be a little bit conservative. Thank you for watching College Football with Sam. Make sure that you've liked the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and team playlists and podcasts in the description, join the free Discord server where we talk college football 24/7, and have commented your thoughts down below. Check out the description for any ways you can support the channel monetarily. Everything else I've asked you to do is completely free, and your support means the world to me. We're trying to become the next big thing on college football YouTube. 6-figure subscribers, maybe 1 million one day. I think we can do that. And also check out any videos or playlists, anything in these columns right here, where there will be videos and playlists. Yeah, you get the point. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.